Captain Du-hyun stood at the bridge of the Ueki steadfast, watching the alien ship approach. It was 3 times bigger than his vessel and covered in strange blue lights. The ship's computer said it belonged to something called the Krixa Empire. He had never heard of them before. "Sir, they're asking to come aboard," said Lieutenant Jae-yun from her weapons station. Her fingers stayed close to the defense controls. After 20 years in space, she knew better than to trust any surprise visitors. Do-hyun smoothed his uniform and nodded. "Let them dock. Tell security to be ready, but keep their weapons hidden. We don't want to seem unfriendly." The alien ship connected to their airlock with a soft thud. Do-hyun watched on the screens as the delegation walked through the connection tunnel. The Krixa were tall, with gray skin that seemed to shimmer. They had 4 arms and walked very straight, like they thought they were better than everyone else. Their leader introduced himself as Ambassador Sith. "We have watched your species for some time," he said in perfect English. "Your progress is interesting." Do-hyun noticed how Sith said interesting like someone talking about a child's drawing. He kept his face calm, but Jae-yun frowned at her station. "We have a proposal," Sith continued. "We will give you faster-than-light travel technology. In return, we want to see how good humans are at making weapons." The bridge went quiet. FTL technology was humanity's biggest dream. With it, they could reach other stars in days instead of years. But weapons testing, that seemed strange. "What kind of weapons?" Do-hyun asked carefully. Sith's mouth moved in what might have been a smile. "We have an empty planet in our system. We want you to try to destroy it. Consider it a scientific experiment." Jae-yun spoke up from her station. "And if we succeed, then you prove yourselves worthy of joining the galactic community," Sith said. "But do not worry if you fail. We understand that your species is still developing." Do-hyun saw Jae-yun's hands tighten on her console. The aliens were trying to make humans look weak, but they didn't know about the quantum physics breakthroughs Earth had kept secret. "We accept your challenge," Do-hyun said. "When do we start?" "Excellent." Sith seemed pleased, but also slightly amused, like someone watching a dog try to do a new trick. "We will send you the details soon. Remember, this is just a test. No one expects too much from such a young species." After the aliens left, Jae-yun turned to her captain. "Sir, did you see how they looked at us? Like we're stupid children." Do-hyun smiled. "Yes, and that's exactly what we want them to think. Call Earth Command. Tell them to contact Dr. Hansol. It's time to show the galaxy what these stupid children can really do." As he watched the alien ship move away, Do-hyun thought about all the advanced physics research Earth had kept hidden. The Krixa thought they were testing humans, but humans were really testing them. They would learn soon enough that looking down on Earth was a very big mistake. Dr. Hansol walked into the meeting room at Earth Defense Headquarters. The room was filled with important people, military leaders, scientists, and government officials. They all wanted to hear about the Krixa's challenge. Captain Do-hyun stood at the front of the room, showing pictures of the alien ship. "They want us to destroy an uninhabited planet," he explained. "They think we can't do it. They're offering faster-than-light travel technology if we try." "Try." Dr. Hansol spoke up. His voice was quiet but strong. "They expect us to fail. That's why they're making this offer." Major Ta Yang, the weapons expert, nodded in agreement. "They want to show everyone how weak humans are. They don't know about Project Lightning." Project Lightning was Earth's secret weapon research. Dr. Hansol had led the team that discovered how to manipulate quantum fields. They had kept this discovery hidden from alien observers. "How big is this planet they want us to destroy?" Dr. Hansol asked. Do-hyun showed a picture of a rocky planet, about half the size of Earth. "They call it Testing Ground 6. Testing Ground 6. Major Ta Yang frowned. "How many other species have they tested?" 5. Do-hyun answered. "All of them failed. The Crixa love to make other species feel small and weak. Dr. Hansol stood up and walked to the front of the room. He drew some simple diagrams on the display screen. We can do more than just destroy this planet. We can show them something they've never seen before. He explained his plan. The room grew quiet as people realized what he was suggesting. It wasn't just about destroying a planet. It was about changing how the galaxy saw humans. Is it safe? Someone asked. Safer than letting the Crixa think they can push us around, Major Tai Yang answered. If they think we're weak, other aliens will think the same thing. We need to show our strength. Dr. Hansol nodded. I'll need a special team, and we'll need to work fast. The Crixa gave us 3 months. 3 months. Major Tai Yang looked worried. That's not much time. It's enough, Dr. Hansol said confidently. I already have most of the calculations done. We just need to build it now. Captain Du-hyun smiled. I know just the person to help. Lieutenant Jae-yun from my ship. She understands alien technology better than anyone. The meeting ended with a clear plan. They would build the device in a secret base on the moon. The Crixa would only see what humans wanted them to see. As Dr. Hansol left the meeting, he thought about the alien smug faces. They thought humans were simple creatures playing with toys they didn't understand. Soon they would learn that humans understood far more than they showed. The galaxy was about to change, and the Crixa wouldn't know what hit them until it was too late. The secret base on the moon was busy day and night. Dr. Hansol worked with his team in the main laboratory, surrounded by complex machines and glowing screens. Major Tai Yang tested different weapon designs in the adjacent chamber, while Lieutenant Jae-yun studied the Crixa technology they had been given. The aliens think we'll try to make a bigger version of our nuclear weapons, Dr. Hansol said, looking at his calculations. They don't know we've moved far beyond that. A young engineer named Subin walked into the lab, carrying a small device that glowed with a soft blue light. She was the newest member of the team, but her ideas had already changed their plans several times. Dr. Hansol, I found something interesting, she said, placing the device on the main table. The Crix's faster-than-light drive uses dark matter in a way they think we can't understand. But I think we can use that same principle in our weapon. Dr. Hansol studied the device carefully. Show me, he said. Subin connected the device to their main computer. Numbers and diagrams filled the screens. Major Tai Yang came in from the testing chamber to watch. Look here. Subin pointed to a particular set of numbers. The Crixa use dark matter to bend space, but if we combine that with our quantum field technology, we could do more than just destroy a planet. Major Tai Yang finished her thought. We could affect the whole star system. Dr. Hansol's eyes lit up. Subin, you're brilliant. This is exactly what we need. They worked for many hours, combining Subin's discovery with their existing plans. Lieutenant Jae-yun helped them understand how the Crixa would react to different approaches. They're getting nervous, Jae-yun told them during a break. Their observers keep asking questions about our progress. They think we're going to fail completely. Good, Major Tai Yang smiled. Let them think that. Meanwhile, we're building something they can't even imagine. The team worked through the next week without stopping. Subin refined her dark matter calculations. Dr. Hansol adjusted the quantum field generators. Major Tai Yang built smaller test versions of their device. Finally, they were ready for the first full test. The team gathered in the main lab, surrounding a device that looked surprisingly small for what it could do. Are we sure about this? Lieutenant Jae-yun asked, looking at the device. Dr. Hansol nodded. The Crixa gave us this chance because they think we're simple and weak. They want to prove humans aren't ready for real power. Instead, we're going to show them something that will change the galaxy forever. Subin typed the final commands into the computer. The device hummed softly, glowing with a strange purple light that none of them had seen before. "It works," she whispered, looking at the readings. "It actually works." Major Tai Yang looked at the data and smiled. "The Krixa thought they were testing us. But we're about to test them. Let's see how they handle discovering the humans are far more advanced than they ever imagined." Commander Yun, he watched the Krixa observers through the security cameras. They were touring the outer labs of the moon base, where the humans showed them simple nuclear experiments. But something was different today. The aliens were nervous. She called Captain Do-hyun on the secure line. "Sir, you need to see this," she said, sending him the video feed. "The Krixa are acting strange." On the main screen, she could see 3 Krixa scientists talking to each other. Their forearms moved quickly, showing their worry. They kept looking at the human scientists with different eyes than before. Not with pride or amusement, but with concern. "They're starting to suspect something," Do-hyun said over the line. "What changed?" Yun-hee checked her reports. "Yesterday, they saw some of our quantum field readings. Dr. Hansol showed them only the basic data, but I think they noticed something they didn't expect. In the hidden part of the base, deep under the moon's surface, Dr. Hansol and his team continued their real work. The weapon was almost ready. Su-bin had made it even more powerful than they first planned." "Commander," Su-bin called Yun-hee to the testing chamber. "Look at these numbers." She pointed to a screen showing their latest test results. "The device isn't just affecting matter anymore. It's changing the basic rules of space around it." Yun-hee understood enough science to know this was big. "Is it safe?" she asked. "We can control it," Su-bin assured her. "But the Krixa, they don't know this is possible. They think quantum fields and dark matter can't work together this way." Major Tai Yang joined them, carrying new test results. "The Krixa observers asked to see our main lab today," he said. "We showed them the fake one on the upper level. They looked scared when they saw even our basic experiments." "They should be scared," Lieutenant Jae-yun said, walking into the room. "They thought we were playing with toys. Instead, we're changing how the universe works." Commander Yun-hee sat down to write her daily report. The Krixa had made a big mistake. They thought giving humans a chance to fail would keep Earth weak and quiet. Instead, they had given humans the perfect chance to show their true power. "The test is in 3 days," she wrote in her report. "The Krixa think they will watch humans try and fail to destroy a planet. They don't know that we are about to show them something that will change everything. The galaxy will never be the same after they see what humans can really do." She sent the report to Captain Do-hyun and smiled. Soon, very soon, the aliens would learn why it was a bad idea to challenge humans. The day of the test arrived. The human team gathered on the Krixa observation ship, bringing their device with them. It looked simple on the outside, just a silver box with a few lights. The aliens barely glanced at it, expecting failure. Dr. Hansol stood with Major Tai Yang and Su-bin at the main control panel. Lieutenant Jae-yun checked the device one final time while Commander Yun-hee watched the Krixa's reactions. Captain Do-hyun represented Earth officially, standing tall in his formal uniform. "The target planet is ready," Ambassador Xith announced. His voice carried a hint of amusement. "You may begin your attempt whenever you wish." Through the ship's massive window, they could see the rocky planet floating in space. It was brown and lifeless, about half the size of Earth. The Krixa had used it many times before to test other species' weapons. "Lieutenant Jae-yun, begin the deployment sequence," Dr. Hansol ordered. Jae-yun's fingers moved across the control panel. The device hummed softly as it powered up. Su-bin watched the readings carefully, making small adjustments. "Energy levels are stable," she reported. "Quantum field is forming." The Krixa scientists moved closer, their forearms holding various scanning devices. They expected to see a simple explosion, like all the other species had tried. Instead, their scanners started showing readings they had never seen before. "What is this?" one of them asked, their voice shaking slightly. These energy patterns are impossible. Major Tai Yang smiled but said nothing. The device's hum grew louder, and a purple light began to shine from its surface. The Crix's scanning devices started beeping in alarm. 10 seconds to full power, Jai-Yun announced. Ambassador Xith stepped forward. What kind of weapon is this? He demanded. These readings suggest you're manipulating both quantum fields and dark matter. That's not possible for your level of technology. 5 seconds, Jai-Yun continued, ignoring him. The purple light grew brighter. The Crixus scientists backed away from their screens, their gray skin turning pale with fear. They finally understood that they had made a terrible mistake. Activation, Jai-Yun said calmly. A beam of purple energy shot from the device toward the target planet. But instead of a simple explosion, something very different happened. The space around the planet began to twist and bend. The Crixa watched in horror as their impossible human weapon did something they had thought could never be done. Full quantum field engagement, Subin reported. Dark matter cascade beginning. The planet started to glow with the same purple light as the device. But this was just the beginning. The humans knew what was coming next. The Crixa were about to learn why challenging Earth had been the biggest mistake of their lives. The purple light spread from the target planet into the surrounding space. The Crixa observation ship's instruments were showing readings that made their scientists step back in fear. What happened next would change the galaxy forever. Dark matter cascade reaching critical point, Subin announced calmly. She watched her screens as numbers climbed higher than the Crixa had ever seen before. The target planet wasn't just breaking apart like the aliens expected. Instead, the space around it was changing. Purple energy waves spread outward, touching other planets in the system. The quantum field the humans had created was affecting everything it touched. Impossible. Ambassador Xith shouted. His 4 arms waved in panic. You're changing the basic rules of space itself. How can you understand this level of science? Dr. Hansel turned to face the ambassador. We understood it long ago. We just never told you. You thought humans were simple because we wanted you to think that. On the main screen, they watched as the target planet twisted in ways that shouldn't be possible. The purple energy had spread to 3 other planets now. None of them were inhabited, but the Crixa were still terrified. You have to stop this, one of the Crixa scientists begged. The quantum cascade could affect the whole system. Major Tai Yang smiled. Don't worry. We designed it to stop exactly when we wanted to. We understand quantum fields better than you think. Lieutenant Jai-Yun's fingers moved across her control panel. Sir, should I activate the containment field? Captain Du-hyun nodded. Show them our full control, Lieutenant. Jai-Yun pressed a series of buttons. The purple energy stopped spreading. Then, slowly, it started pulling back. The Crixa watched in amazement as the humans demonstrated perfect control over forces they had thought impossible to master. We could have let it continue, Commander Yunhee explained to the shocked aliens. We could have affected your whole star system, but we chose to show restraint. Subin showed them her calculations. The device was operating at only 30% of its full power. We didn't want to cause too much damage in our first test. The Crixa scientists studied her numbers in silence. Their hands trembled as they realized just how wrong they had been about humans. They had thought they were testing a primitive species. Instead, they had given humans the perfect chance to show their true power. Your people, Ambassador Xith said quietly, are far more dangerous than we imagined. Captain Du-hyun looked at him calmly. No, Ambassador, we're far more advanced than you imagined. There's a difference. Remember that the next time you think about challenging Earth. 3 days after the test, the Crixa Empire's highest leaders arrived at Earth for emergency peace talks. They met in a large conference room at Earth Defense Headquarters, with views of the blue Earth through tall windows. Captain Du-hyun led the human delegation, while Commander Yunhee managed security. Ambassador Xith looked different now. His former pride was gone. He sat with the other Crixa leaders, all of them watching the humans with new respect and fear. "We wish to establish a permanent peace treaty with Earth," the Crixus supreme leader announced. His voice was steady, but his four hands kept clasping and unclasping nervously. "We also wish to apologize for our previous attitude toward your species." Captain Du-hyun shared a quick look with Commander Yun-hee before responding. "Earth accepts your apology," he said. "We look forward to a peaceful relationship between our peoples." Dr. Han-sol and his team sat at one end of the table. Su-bin had brought detailed records of their research. The Crixus scientists couldn't stop staring at the simple tablet that contained scientific knowledge they had thought impossible. "Your understanding of quantum physics," one Crixus scientist said carefully. "How long have you had it?" "Long enough," Dr. Han-sol answered. "We learned early that it was better to keep some knowledge hidden. Your challenge gave us the perfect reason to reveal it." Major Tai-yang added, "We've known about the connection between dark matter and quantum fields for years. We just didn't show it until now." The Crixa leaders whispered among themselves. They had spent years thinking humans were simple beings playing with basic technology. Now they realized that humans had been advancing in secret, growing stronger while appearing weak. "The treaty will include technology sharing," the supreme leader said. "But perhaps your people could teach us some things as well." Lieutenant Jai-yun smiled slightly. "We would be happy to teach you," she said. "That's what advanced species should do, isn't it? Help others learn and grow." The Crixa recognized their own words being used against them. They had said similar things to humans many times, always with contempt. Now they were the ones asking to learn. The meeting ended with signed treaties and promises of cooperation. As the Crixa leaders prepared to leave, Ambassador Xith approached Captain Du-hyun privately. "You could have destroyed our whole system," he said quietly. "Why didn't you?" "Because humans aren't what you thought we were," Du-hyun replied. "We don't want to destroy. We want to explore, learn, and grow. But we will also defend ourselves if needed. Remember that." 1 year after the weapon test, Earth had changed in ways no one could have imagined. Crixa ships were now a common sight in Earth's orbit. The two species worked together, but everyone knew who held the real power. Captain Du-hyun stood in the new Earth Crixa Science Center, looking out at the moon base where it all began. The center was Earth's idea, a place where humans could teach aliens about quantum physics and advanced technology. "The latest group of Crixa students is ready, sir," Lieutenant Jai-yun reported. She now led the technology exchange program, though they still get nervous when we talk about quantum fields. Do-hyun smiled. "They'll learn, just like they learned not to underestimate us." In her laboratory, Su-bin worked with both human and Crixa scientists. Her understanding of dark matter had earned her respect throughout the galaxy. The Crixa scientists treated her with a mixture of fear and admiration. "Today we're studying basic quantum field manipulation," she told her class. "And yes, we're only using 10% power in these demonstrations." The Crixa scientists nodded quickly. They had learned that humans always held something back, always knew more than they showed. It was a lesson their species would never forget. Dr. Han-sol had become a legendary figure in galactic science. Other alien species came to Earth to learn from him. The Crixa Empire had lost its position as the galaxy's scientific leader. "Humans understand things differently," he explained to a group of alien visitors. "We learned to think creatively because we had to solve problems with limited resources. That's something the Crixa never understood." Major Tai-yang led the new defense cooperation programs. The Crixa had insisted that weapon development be left to humans. They didn't trust themselves with such power anymore. "We don't build weapons to destroy," he told his alien colleagues. "We build them to protect. There's a difference." Commander Yun-hee managed Earth's new diplomatic relations. Alien species that once looked down on humans now sought Earth's friendship and protection. "The galaxy has changed," she said during a diplomatic meeting. "Not because we revealed our power, but because we showed wisdom in how we used it. In his office at Earth Defense Headquarters, Captain Do-hyun read reports about new alien contacts. Each report showed the same pattern: species treating humans with careful respect. The Crix's test changed everything, he said to Ambassador Xith, who now served as a permanent diplomat to Earth. But not in the way you planned. Sith nodded. We thought we were testing your weapons. Instead, you tested our character. We failed that test, but we learned from it. Do-hyun looked out at the busy spaceport, where ships from across the galaxy came to learn from Earth. That's the difference between our peoples, Ambassador. Humans never stop learning, and we never show everything we know. Remember that.